Welcome to this Arnall-Culliford knitwear tutorial on the Crochet Provisional cast on. This tutorial is part of our Year of Techniques, 12 projects to help you to upgrade your knitting skills. I'm going to show you how to do two different provisional cast-ons this month. I'm going to show you the Crochet Provisional cast-on in this video, and there's a separate video for Judy's Magic cast-on, so do be sure to have a look at that too. To work a Crochet Provisional cast-on, you use some waste yarn and a crochet hook to cast stitches on over your knitting needle. I like to use a smooth mercerized cotton for my waste yarn because it doesn't get stuck to my main yarn stitches. Here's a swatch we've knitted earlier. It's got a Crochet Provisional cast on at the very beginning. And the provisional cast on is a fantastic way of allowing you to work in more than one direction. So you can start off with some stitches at your crochet provisional cast on, work in one direction, and you can then come back later and unzip this cast on edge and then work downwards or across or even join your stitches together. It gives you lots and lots of versatility. I'm going to show you two things in this video. I'm going to show you how to do the cast on at the beginning, and then separately I'll show you how to remove the crochet chain or unzip the crochet chain to return to your live stitches on your knitting needles. So we're going to start by making a slip knot and placing it on the crochet hook. I do that by wrapping the yarn around my fingers and then putting the crochet hook under and looping that underneath, tightening it up. So I've got a slip knot on my crochet hook. I'm then going to hold the crochet hook over my knitting needle, and I'm going to wrap the yarn underneath the needle and over the hook, and I'm then going to pull that yarn through the loop, through the slip knot that's on the needle, and that's put one stitch on my knitting needle, and then I repeat it. So I'm going to take the yarn under the needle and over the hook and then pull the yarn through the loop on the crochet hook, under the needle, over the hook, and pull the yarn through the loop on the crochet hook, and you can see that's putting stitches onto my knitting needle in the waste yarn. I'm going to carry on doing that until I've got the required number of stitches. I'm going to do 10 here. And now, to help us to know which end of the crochet chain to unzip from later, I'm going to do a few chains that are just on the crochet hook. You can see I'm no longer passing the yarn under the needle. Just a few stitches to make a bit of a chain. And then going to snip the end of the waste yarn and pull it through the final stitch on the chain. And you can now see that where I began, we begin straight with stitches on the needle, and I've then got a chain which tells me which end to unzip later. I'm now going to change to my working yarn, and I'm going to work the first row of the pattern in the working yarn, and my pattern has me start with a wrong side row, so I'm going to purl across these stitches, literally just joining in the main yarn and working across the waste yarn stitches. So we've now joined in the main yarn. We're ready to work on with our project in whatever way we need to, and the crochet chain is safely holding the stitches at the cast on edge, ready for when we want to work on them later on. Having seen how to do a crochet provisional cast on, I'm now going to show you how to unzip it and return the stitches to your needles. So here's a sample I've worked on earlier, and I'm now ready to return to my cast on stitches, and I'm going to unzip the crochet chain, and you can see this is the end where I started, and it crochets straight across, and then here's my crochet chain showing me that that is the end I'm going to unzip first. And the way that I do that is as follows. I'm going to bring the tail back through the first loop on the chain. Once I've done that, you can see that I've now got a stitch on the chain, and it should just undo by gently pulling on it. Keep doing that until you come to the beginning of your stitches, and you can then have a knitting needle ready. As you pull out the waste yarn, you will see the stitch being revealed, and we're going to pick each stitch up as we tug on the crochet, and each stitch is carefully unzipped. If you do happen to drop one, then it's just like dropping a stitch anywhere else in your knitting. If you get a little crochet hook, you'll be able to pick it back up again without too much difficulty. And you can see that we now have live stitches at both ends of our knitting, and we can continue in whatever way the pattern tells us to from that point on. You now know how to work a crochet provisional cast on, as well as how to unzip the crochet edge and return the stitches to your needles. Don't forget to watch our other video this month on Judy's Magic Cast On, which is an alternative way of working your provisional cast on. I do hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. If you'd like to know more about A Year of Techniques, do visit our website acknitwear.co.uk, and why not try something new today?